Help comes off the Beatles' fifth studio album of the same name. It's also a soundtrack to the film of the same name called Help. Apparently, the Beatles had a number of films come out with soundtracks to go along with them. Now, this is actually a live performance in Blackpool, England. This is when they were still touring as a band because apparently, well, I knew this slightly beforehand, that the Beatles stopped touring as a band because of the crowds that would come to see them. They were too loud and became uninterested in the music almost. They were there to just kind of gawk at the band members. So up until the band essentially broke up in like 70 or 71, the band didn't really tour after a certain point, I think in 66 maybe. So pretty cool to check them out live. Now, the reason why I'm doing a live performance of a song I've not heard before is because Beatles are notoriously hard to react to. They generally block any reactions, and what happens is they get released after a month. So I'm still trying to find workarounds of that. I think what I'm going to do is record a album reaction, so you guys can look forward to that. Hopefully in a month or so I'll release that for everyone to see. Fingers crossed everything works out with that, but that's beside the point. This is a live performance and I hope you guys enjoy the reaction. Here we go. This is Help by the Beatles live in Blackpool, England. I also have the lyrics to help me follow along, and lastly, if you do have a second, hit the like button, maybe share it with a friend, and if you're not subscribed already and you want to see more videos like this of me reacting and reviewing music, then hit the subscribe button and join the awesome community we have. Here we go.
Next song we'd like to sing.
What did he just say?
Is our latest record.
I think he said shut up or I'll kill
latest
you.
Electronic noise, depending on whose side you're on.
Interesting.
Anyway, we'd like to carry on with it. It's the last number. We'd like to thank you all for...
He's really kind of cheeky and witty, isn't he? It's cool to see that that's his personality, not just in his writing. I want to make sure I heard what he said about electronic music.
It's our latest record. Or our latest electronic noise, depending on whose side you're on.
Ah, that's funny. Funny to think the parents and older people of that time thought of their music as electronic noise, and now it's sometimes hilarious to me to see those people look down on newer forms of music. But yeah, really funny to see. Interesting.
Any road, we'd like to carry on with it. It's the last number. We'd like to thank you all for being so wonderful. And it's called Help. 1, 2, 3, 4. Help. I need somebody. Help. Not just anybody. Help. You know I need someone. Help. When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way.
Great harmonies.
Well, these days are gone, I'm not so self-assured. Now I find I've changed my mind and opened up the door. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
They're so tight as a band.
Appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please help me?
They're so tight. They're so tight.
Now my life has changed in so many ways. My independence seems to vanish in the hate. But now these days are gone, I'm not so self-assured. Know that I just need your light, I've never done before. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please help me?
All those years of playing in those nightclubs in Germany did them so well because they're such a tight band. They work off each other so well. Their chemistry is so obvious to see. And one thing that I find quite interesting is Ringo Starr is not always brought up as one of the best drummers in rock. And I wonder why, because he has a very unique style that I like quite a lot. But I guess that's for you guys to let me know.
When I was younger, so much younger than today, never needed anybody's help in any way.
Love John's voice.
These days are gone,
his melodies that are.
Again, I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you being round. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please, please help me, help me, help me.
Great performance, man. Apologies if I didn't follow along with the lyrics and like move it enough for you guys. I was kind of just caught up in what they were doing, and it's super funny to see the crowd reactions and how kind of crazy they were. It's like it's hilarious to watch. Like people got that riled up about musicians. And especially about the Beatles. I mean, the girls were like fainting and stuff. They were like losing their minds. And it kind of, I think, eventually turned them off, right? That's why they stopped performing after a certain period. Regardless, let's get into the actual song and the lyrics. Now, what I've seen from Paul McCartney describe John Lennon's writing in later years, him saying, looking back, you can see that Lennon had these hints of something a little bit more darker. That he was always writing things that were sort of ahead of their time, you know, content that wasn't always talked about. So, for example, like the very, very start of it, where he says, help me if you can, I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you being around, help me get back on my feet on my ground. And he's saying something about not feeling so assured in it. But now these days are gone, and I'm not so self-assured. Now I find I've changed my mind and opened up the doors. Great writing, but it's darker. It's almost masked by the music, where you might think that it's like super cheerful and upbeat, but it's got a really sadder meaning to it. Look, I don't want to go as far as to say it's a dark song. It's certainly not, but there's hints in there of the darkness. And I've said before how like McCartney's kind of the light. They're like the yin and yang kind of. McCartney's the light and like Lennon's the darkness. Not everyone agreed with me, but I think it kind of sometimes fits that pattern. I guess in this one they do. They kind of bounce off each other, right? Apparently when they were songwriting with each other, Paul would have a couple of lines, and then Lennon would come in with almost like the opposite point of view, and it gave them great balance. Regardless, great song, really liked it, and their fantastic chemistry is probably the biggest takeaway for me.